I'm Screen Name Missing, and this is a Sunday night movie.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a...
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the Gingerdead Man. Now, this week's movie is The Gingerdead Man. It's from Charles Band, who is a specialist amongst B-movies. He's well known for a lot of classic B-movie style films. He's produced and or directed movies such as Evil Bong. He's also done Demonic Toys and The Puppet Master. Though this movie was made in 2005, it has the look, the feel, and the quality of a classic B-movie of the 80s and earlier. It has everything from cheesy lines to bad acting to fit the genre, camera filters to make it look aged, and even the clothing was classic 80s clothes to help fit the genre and make it seem like it was a true B-movie. Now, this movie follows the story of Sarah Lee, who is running a family-owned bakery 2 years after the tragic loss of her dad and brother. Sarah's mother, Betty Lee, had trouble coping with the loss of her husband and son and developed a drinking problem. And so Sarah is left to run the restaurant on her own and take care of her alcoholic mother. Now, if that wasn't enough, Sarah receives this mysterious package of gingerbread seasoning that was left at the back door of her bakery. While Sarah and her coworker Brick Fields are making the batch of gingerbread using the special seasoning, Brick cuts himself and it drips into the gingerbread. While they're cooking the gingerbread man, there is a huge surge of electricity which causes the gingerbread man to come to life. Now, the one thing that was a big letdown with this movie was the character development and the depth of every character within the film. It was really hard to be able to connect with the characters. There wasn't much of a story, not much of a backstory. Some of the characters you knew nothing about other than their name. And the way they presented the love interests to each other and the way that they interacted, it just felt so fake and forced. I was expecting more with the acting. I know back in the day with classic B movies, the actors really weren't that good. But with an actor like Gary Busey, who has a huge, long list of movies that he's been in, I was expecting more. And I was really let down. Everyone else other than Gary Busey, I believe I've never seen them before. I may have seen the lead actress in something else, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. The cinematography of this film was subpar. Granted, it is a B movie. I was still expecting them to do more with it. One of my favorite things about B movies is the way that they poke fun at themselves or make fun of themselves in the way that they name their characters. Being that this movie is placed in a bakery, they use names like Sarah Lee, Jimmy Dean, Amos Cadbury, just various different names that have some sort of tie or reference to a food or a candy. With the technology and special effects that we have today, you would expect them to do a CG animated gingerbread man. With today's technology, they did a really good job of covering up the high-tech stuff that they did and still making it look like the classic special effects and things that they would have done in the classic B movies. There were several different ways that they presented the Gingerdead Man. There were small little guys that were controlled by wires where it could move the mouth or move the arms to hold the gun. They even had a giant life-size costume from the belly up of the Gingerdead Man that had a mask that went over the actor's face to get the close-up emotions and the close-up shots of the Gingerdead Man talking. In regards to the cheesy lines that they used, there is one line that sticks out in my mind that will be the one line that I remember from this movie forever. The Gingerdead Man has just come to life and everyone in the bakery is trying to figure out what is going on and who it is that is inside of the bakery. The Gingerdead Man replies, "Well, it's sure the Pillsbury Doughboy." And I could not stop laughing at that line. It's just such a weird, funny line. Now, I guess that's one thing to be said about B-movies, is there's always going to be that one line, that one scene, that one person, that every time you think of that movie, that is what you think of. That is exactly what this line is for me. While there has not been a movie that has done a twist on the Gingerbread Man, this concept has been done to death. Most notably is Chucky. Charles Lee Ray dies and he's a convicted serial killer, and he dies and comes back as the good guy's doll. In the movie Jack Frost, which I will be reviewing later this year, a guy dies and comes back as a snowman. And in this movie they chose a gingerbread man. The storyline of this movie is very predictable, as most B movies are, but it's still an enjoyable and very funny movie. Now, even though this movie is in the style of a B movie, it came out in 2005, and anything after 1999 I'm much more harsh on, and I expect a lot more out of them. For cinematography and editing, I give this movie a 7. They could have done a lot more with it, but they just decided to limit themselves and keep it very generic. For the soundtrack of this film, I gave it a 6. And while I love the fact that it is an original score, and I miss that about movies now because they're just lazy and they put in songs that they can find from popular artists, I find that that takes away from film. It didn't really help you that connect to the story that much. It was just music there so they didn't have dead space. It didn't really fit the mood, and it didn't really help you stay into the story. For the acting, I'd give this movie a 4. Right along with the fact that it is in the style of a B movie. The acting is terrible. But even along with the lines of that, this came out in 2005. I was still expecting more, especially from Gary Busey. For story and plot, I give this movie a 4. The story of this film has been done to death, someone dying and coming back as some inanimate object. However, I did like the idea that they did a twist on the tale of the Gingerdead Man. For prop, set design, and editing, I give this movie an 8. They did a really good job with what they could do, while still keeping it within the ideas of a classic B movie. For the continuity of this film, I give it a 9. And while there was only one specific continuity error that I found, it was a big one, and it really kind of ruined the movie for me. And while I cannot tell you what the continuity error specifically is, because I don't like spoilers, I will tell you this. Pay attention to when Amos bites the head, which gives this movie an overall 6.3. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really entertaining. If you like B movies, definitely check this out. There are also 2 sequels to this movie, and if you like the first one, definitely check out the other 2. That about does it for this week's edition of the Sunday Night Movie, but real quick, I wanted to tell you guys about a new collaboration channel that I'm doing. It is with a group of friends who I've met through BlackBoxTV's live stream. If you don't know who BlackBoxTV is or what they do, definitely check them out. They do some really cool sci-fi, Twilight Zone-ish horror short films, and they are really incredible. Basically, the collaboration channel is reviews of the 2nd season episodes of BlackBoxTV. If you guys want to look at that, go ahead, go there, subscribe. We'll love you forever. We are Team Regulars. We got the name because we are always constantly within the live UStream chat that Tony has set up for us. If you want to become a regular in there or just want to check that out and see what Tony does every day, it's live 24/7. I have the link down there too. It's on UStream. I'm Screen Name Missing. Thank you for joining me for the Sunday Night Movie. Check back in 2 weeks for another movie review.